I doubted you in the beginning, afraid to let my heart be vulnerable again. But now I see that love isn't about guarding yourself. It's about allowing someone to walk through those guarded walls and prove they belong inside. I was uncertain of your love, thinking it was just another fleeting feeling. But now I realize that your love was the one constant I needed, something I should have never doubted. In the beginning, I was cautious with my heart, afraid of getting hurt again. But now, I see that doubting you was only delaying the inevitable realization that you were meant to be in my life. I was unsure if I could believe in you, scared of being let down. But now, after seeing how steady and true your love is, I can't believe I ever questioned it. I remember the early days when I doubted your intentions, convinced that love couldn't be this simple. But now, I see that love doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be real. I doubted you, not because of who you are, but because of the scars from my past. Now, I see that those doubts were a reflection of my own fears, not of your love. In the beginning, I was afraid to trust the love you were offering, afraid it was too good to be true. But now, I realize that your love was the truest thing I've ever known. I had doubts when we met, not because of you, but because I wasn't ready to believe in something so beautiful. Now, I see that my doubts were my biggest mistake, and loving you was my greatest gift. I questioned whether we could really be something lasting, something real. But now, I see that those doubts only kept me from seeing how deep and true our love truly is. I doubted you because I was scared to be vulnerable, scared to be open, but your love has shown me that real strength comes from letting someone in, not shutting them out. I questioned everything when we first met, unsure if you were real or just a beautiful dream. Now I see that our love is not only real, but more profound than I ever imagined. When we met, I wasn't sure if you were the one. I had doubts about whether this could work, but now I can't believe I almost let my fear get in the way of something so perfect. I doubted your love, convinced it was just a fleeting moment. But now, after everything we've been through, I know that your love is the most enduring force in my life. I hesitated when we first met, unsure if we were right for each other. But now, I see that love doesn't always announce itself loudly. It sometimes grows slowly until one day you realize it's everything. I doubted you in the beginning, thinking love couldn't be this simple, this easy. But now I see that real love doesn't need complications, only two people willing to give their hearts. I questioned your feelings, afraid that I would open my heart and be left broken. But now I realize your love was always steadfast, and I was the one who needed to trust. I wasn't sure if we would make it, hesitant to believe in something so beautiful. But now I see that love like ours was always meant to last. In the early days, I doubted whether we could really be something special. But now I can't imagine my life without the love we share. I had doubts when we first met, unsure if this was the right path. But now I realize that love is the path we were always meant to walk together. I doubted your intentions, thinking that love would only lead to pain. But now I see that love with you has only led to happiness and peace. When we first met, I was afraid to believe in something so real. But now I can see that our love is more than real. It's the most important thing in my life. I doubted you in the beginning, convinced that I was protecting myself by keeping my distance. But now I see that real protection comes from trusting the right person with your heart. I questioned whether your love was genuine, afraid that it was too good to be true. But now, after everything we've shared, I know that your love is as real as it gets. I wasn't sure if you were the one, scared to give my heart away too soon. But now, I see that love isn't about timing. It's about trusting the person who makes your heart feel safe. I doubted us at first, unsure if we were strong enough to last. But now, I see that the strength of our love was never in question. It was always there, waiting for us to realize it. In the beginning, I was cautious, afraid to dive too deep into what we had. But now, I see that the depth of our love is exactly what makes it so beautiful. I doubted your love, thinking it couldn't possibly be as real as it seemed. But now, I see that love doesn't need to be questioned. It just needs to be felt. I was hesitant to believe in you, afraid that love would only lead to heartache. But now I realize that love with you has brought nothing but joy and peace. I doubted you when we first met, unsure if my heart could trust yours. But over time, you've shown me that my initial fears were unfounded, and now I can't imagine my life without you. In the beginning, my mind was clouded with doubts, unable to see the truth of your love. But now, with every heartbeat, I realize just how wrong I was to ever question you. I was skeptical when we first met, unsure if you were someone I could open my heart to. But with each moment we've shared, my doubts have faded, leaving only gratitude for the love we have. When our paths crossed, I hesitated, unsure if I could trust the feelings you stirred within me. But now I see that those doubts were nothing more than a shield to protect my heart from the beauty of what we have. I doubted you, not because you weren't worthy, but because I was afraid of the depth of what we could become. Now, I see that letting go of that fear has been the greatest decision of my life. At first, I wasn't sure what to make of you. My heart was hesitant, my mind filled with uncertainty. But as the days turned into weeks, I realized how wrong I was to doubt the incredible connection we share. I admit, I questioned everything in the beginning, but with time, your love has shown me that true connection doesn't require constant reassurances. It simply grows, quietly and beautifully. I was uncertain of you, unsure if I could trust what I felt. But now I can't believe how close I came to missing out on something so extraordinary. When we first met, I built walls around my heart, doubting your intentions. But you patiently broke them down, and now I see that I was wrong to ever keep you out. I never thought I'd say this, but the person I doubted the most has become the one I trust the most. You've proved to me that love can erase even the deepest of insecurities. I was hesitant to let you in, scared that you'd hurt me like others before. But every step you took toward me, I saw that my doubts were a reflection of my past, not of you. I remember the first time we met. I wasn't sure if I could trust the feelings you awakened within me. But now, I see those doubts were just fear disguising itself as caution. In the beginning, I kept questioning what you saw in me, why you chose me. But now, I realize it wasn't about me believing in myself. It was about me believing in us. I had my reservations when we first crossed paths. I wondered if it was all too good to be true. But now, those doubts have melted away like snow in the warmth of your love. I doubted you, not because of who you are, but because of who I was. Now I see that your love has helped me become someone who no longer needs to doubt. In the early days, I was cautious, afraid to dive too deep into what we had. But now, I can't imagine my life without the depth of love you've brought into it. I was guarded, afraid to give my heart completely. But you showed me that love is worth the risk, and now I see how foolish I was to ever doubt you. I questioned everything at first, your intentions, your words, your love. But now I realize that my doubts were the only thing standing in the way of our happiness. I was so afraid of being hurt that I almost didn't see how perfect we could be together. Now I see that love requires trust, and I regret doubting you for even a moment. In the beginning, I was too busy protecting my heart to see that you were the one person who would never break it. Now, I wish I could go back and trust you from the start. I doubted your feelings, convinced they were temporary. But now, after everything we've been through, I see that what we have is anything but fleeting. When we first met, I told myself not to get too attached, that you were too good to be true. But now, I see that you were exactly what my heart needed all along. I never imagined that the person I was so unsure about would become the person I can't live without. My doubts have turned into certainty, and my fear into love. I was hesitant to believe in you, in us, in the possibility of something real. But now, I can see clearly how foolish it was to ever question the depth of what we have. When we met, my heart was filled with doubt, afraid to trust what felt too good to be true. But now, I realize that love doesn't need to be questioned. It just needs to be felt. I thought I was protecting myself by doubting you, but in reality, I was just delaying the inevitable. Your love has made me see that there's nothing to fear. In the beginning, I was cautious, unwilling to fully embrace what was between us. But now, I see that love requires vulnerability, and I'm so glad I finally opened up to you. I doubted you when we first met, convinced that what we had was too good to be true. But with every moment we've shared, you've shown me that love can be real and lasting.